Now pay attention and listen carefully. You don't feel stuck because life is against you. You are stuck because you've been trained to depend on things you cannot control. And that's the most dangerous trap of all, because it feels normal. It feels justified. It even feels logical. But it's silently destroying your power. Think about this carefully. How much of your mood depends on other people? How much of your confidence depends on results? How much of your peace depends on things going your way? Now be honest with yourself. If those things disappear, who are you? Because most people never ask that question. They build their entire identity on unstable ground: validation, outcomes, opinions, comfort, and then they wonder why they feel anxious, unstable, and constantly on edge. But Stoicism exposes this weakness instantly. Epictetus said something that cuts deeper than most people are ready to hear. When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger. In other words, your suffering is not coming from the world. It's coming from your interpretation of it. Let that sink in, because if that's true, then every time you get triggered, every time you feel disrespected, every time something ruins your day, you're not losing control. You already gave it away. And that's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to face. You are not as in control as you think. But here's where it gets powerful. Because the moment you realize that, you can take it back. Right now. Not by changing the world, but by changing what you depend on. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Your estimate, your interpretation, your judgment. That's where your entire emotional life is created. So let me ask you something, and I want you to answer this honestly in the comments. What is one thing right now that has control over your emotions? A person, a situation, an outcome you're waiting for. Name it. Because once you see it clearly, you can start breaking free from it. But here's the part most people won't like. Freedom doesn't feel good at first, because freedom requires detachment. And detachment feels like loss. It feels like letting go of things you've been holding on to for years. Validation, approval, control, comfort. But what if the very things you're holding on to are the things holding you back? Seneca said, "He who is brave is free, not the one who avoids fear, not the one who waits for certainty, the one who faces discomfort without depending on the outcome." That's freedom. But most people don't want freedom. They want control. They want guarantees. They want life to go exactly how they expect. And when it doesn't, they break. So let's challenge that belief right now. What if life was never meant to go your way? What if uncertainty is not a problem, but the training ground? What if everything you're resisting is exactly what you need? Because Stoicism doesn't teach you how to control life. It teaches you how to stop needing to. And that's where real power begins. Because when you no longer need things to go your way, nothing can disturb you. Think about that. No person can control you. No situation can break you. No outcome can define you. Because your stability is internal. not external. And that makes you dangerous in the best way possible. But to get there, you have to let go of something most people cling to: emotional dependency. That constant need for things to feel right, to go right, to be right. And instead, you anchor yourself in something unshakable: your character, your discipline, your response. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." Simple, but not easy. Because your mind will resist this. It will try to pull you back into old patterns: overthinking, complaining, blaming, escaping. But every time you resist that impulse, you become stronger. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you take back control. Every time you face something you've been avoiding, you break the cycle. So let's make this real. Imagine two versions of you. One reacts to everything, gets offended easily, needs validation, avoids discomfort, waits for motivation. That version stays stuck. Now imagine the other version, calm under pressure, unaffected by opinions, focused on action, disciplined regardless of mood. That version evolves. Now here's the question: which version are you feeding every day? Because whether you realize it or not, you are training yourself constantly. Through your habits, through your reactions, through what you tolerate. And if you're not intentional, you default to weakness. That's why Stoicism is not just philosophy. It's training. Daily, relentless, uncomfortable, but transformative. So here's your challenge. And don't just listen to this. Do it. For the next 24 hours, detach from outcomes, whatever you're working on. Do it fully, with focus, with effort, with discipline. But don't tie your emotions to the result. Not to success, not to failure, just action. And then observe how you feel. Because most people are not exhausted from doing too much. They're exhausted from caring too much about things they can't control. Let that hit you. Now, before you leave, I want you to commit to something. Type this in the comments. I control my mind. Not because it sounds good, but because you're deciding to take ownership. Right now. And if you're serious about becoming someone who cannot be shaken by the world, it's mandatory you subscribe to Stoic Gateway. Hit the notification bell. Because this is not just content for consumption. This is calibration of your mind. And in the next video, we're going to break down the most misunderstood Stoic principle of all: the idea of indifference. And once you understand it, you'll stop chasing things that don't matter and start building a life that actually does. Check it out now.